Hey, what's up? First, I would like to thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. My name is Aremu Smog, but you can call me Smog Daddy. And in this video, I'll be telling you the story of how I spent 6 months building www.theentire.foods.com. So in the initial conversations with the clients, I was contemplating on whether to build a website with WordPress or to build from scratch. But immediately I saw this part of the user interface, I knew there was no way on earth I was going to build this website with WordPress. Because for each food, if you click on any of these colors, the properties we have to change, the price we have to change, and there's no way WordPress will be able to build a website as dynamic as this. So definitely I had to build from scratch. The next thing I needed to worry about was the technology stack in order to achieve this. The backend, the backend. So I've been writing PHP from scratch for about 5 years, and I know that building full stack applications from scratch can be pretty stressful. Luckily for me, I was picking up Laravel at the time I started this project. So I decided to give it a shot, even though I had not built any real life application that would be used by people with Laravel. I'd only built side projects, including my personal website and a few pet projects that I've watched from tutorials. So I'm like, okay, let's give this thing a shot. So backend was sorted that way. What the front end? So you see those exclamation marks, they're actually very necessary because honestly, this part almost ended me. Styling wasn't my issue. With my design background, I was able to get things up and running. The interactivity, which of course is JavaScript, was the cocoa. The decision was to use a framework or vanilla JavaScript or jQuery. Even though I knew React to some extent, I didn't at the time understand the separation of concerns. Some would call this the MVC, but I didn't study English in school, so I'll just stick to the separation of concerns. So here's what I mean. I didn't understand or know how you could build an API entirely to handle your backend and work every other thing with React on the front end. And for that reason, I went with jQuery. One question that kept coming up almost every week for the 6 months that I spent working on this project is, which package or library am I going to use again? When should I use this pack? When should I use a package or a library? Where will I even use the library or the package? So, for example, the delivery date feature here, if you select here, you can only select 3 days, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And moving forward, in other months also, it's only those 3 days that are available. The previous month, you can't select the dates. That's why you see that this is disabled. Initially, I was trying to do this with the normal HTML date feature and write the logic with JavaScript, but it just wasn't working out. That was like a week or 2 weeks gone before I had to switch to jQuery UI. The other thing is, when should I use a package at all? So initially, image uploads were actually stored locally on the server. But when I deployed to a live server, the images were not showing up. I tried Symlink, REST Stack Overflow articles, but nothing seemed to be working. And I had no choice than to switch to Cloudinary. Switching to Cloudinary means I needed a framework in order to Cloudinary because I honestly didn't have the time. Maybe I actually had the time to actually go through Cloudinary documentation and start writing things from scratch because, and of course, the reason we have people writing packages is to make life easier for us. So that was when I actually know, I actually needed to use a package to achieve this feature. The other thing is, where should I even use the package? Should it be on the front end or should it be on the back end? For example, the payment was being handled in the back end before, in that when the users orders for a food, it redirects them to PayStandard and then takes them back. But apparently, the client wanted everything to happen on a single page. So no redirect. Even though I'd been using Laravel Paystack for about 2 months, I had to switch back to the front end with JavaScript and that to achieve it. And I actually eventually achieved this with Paystack Simple. You read right, but it's actually not right because there's no NPM package named Paramusmog. However, while working on this project, I actually created my own NPM package named Tamai, which enables you to send SMS using the Tamai messaging platform. Why did I decide to do this? I was getting a lot of help by using other people's package. Even though I had implemented the messaging functionality in my app, I felt like, what if somebody wants to use Tamai tomorrow? Do they have to understand how the whole API works? So I decided to create my own package. I was particularly inspired by Ashinze Eken's Paystack Simple. From deciding on whether to build with WordPress or to build from scratch, the backend language, the front-end language, which library to use and packages, when and where, and even creating my own package. Honestly, up to that point, it's been just vibes. And by the way, Inshallah simply means God's grace, because my pastor friends are already saying, brother Smog is backsliding, but even if the name says Smog and you're adding brother to it, are you yourself, are you not backsliding? But that's not the whole point of this video. All I'm saying is, it's just God's grace and vibes that has helped me to be able to deploy this website. It took 6 months, I know, whatever. Say, I'm sluggish, do this, I do that one, I do that one. But then, there are the key lessons I've learned working on this project. The first thing is ask for help when you need it. So there were times that I was stuck up on some things and I would just be like, I'll figure it out, I'll figure it out, I'll figure it out. A week, 2 weeks down the line, I would not ask for questions. After the third week or the fourth week, that's when I will now go to the developers forum I am in, and somebody will just send me like 10 lines of code and solve my problem. The next thing is just do it. Yeah, I know it's a cliche, Nike and all of that. But honestly speaking, just do it. Like I mentioned, I was not familiar with Laravel by the time I started this project. I didn't even know how most packages work. I didn't know when, which, and where to even use some of these packages. I just threw myself at the project and I just got things done. The other thing is, money may not be the greatest payment at times. Honestly, the greatest payment I got working on this project was not money. In fact, it was an advice that the client gave me because it got to a point where I was frustrated and I was ghosting the client. And the client told me that no matter what the situation is, if a client calls you, ensure you pick up your phone and explain the situation of things to them. And adopting that in my daily life has actually helped me to sleep better. So if I'm working on your project and the thing is not working fine, I'll simply say, sir, this is the situation of things, this is the situation of things, this is the situation of things. And what's the way forward? This is the way forward, this is the way forward. I would say my mind. And also, despite the fact that, like I said, money was not the greatest payment I got for this project. Why this project took me 6 months? Other things I was doing in between, I built about 5 or 6 projects and 6 websites while still working on this project. And referrals that came from this project, I'm charging like 2.5, 2.5 more than I even charged for this project that took 6 months. And those projects will probably take a month. So just get an idea of how things work on your skills and get things done. And of course, God no go shame us. You can see that God will never shame you. Just throw yourself at things and things will be done. And lastly, I would actually like to thank these people: Tunde Ogunkule, Michael Oko, Trojan, JDG Umaya Group, Lucky Osofu, Chinze Eken, the person who inspired me to create my own NPM package, Olubusi David, Jeremy Dagon, Bolaji Fawole, Prosper Temoyiwa, Fatami, Ayomide Ajayi, and of course, Tony Aromo. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Aremu Smog. You can call me Smog Daddy. If you have any project, please feel free to shoot me an email at aremuoluwadamila@gmail.com. I'll probably drop that email in the comment section. Thank you.